So the reason I had to get the shot for HPV was because of Jade, the boy's father. He assaulted me in 2015 in a motel room, and I had so much alcohol in my system that I couldn't fight, or I didn't even know if there were like any other people involved, or all I knew was just the injuries that were sustained from it, and that I had went there with Jade. I didn't remember anybody else being harmed, but who fucking knows, you know? Later, after I had, got the kit done, I think it was like more than a year after, Jade found out that he had HPV.
Good thing I'm immunized.
And he has one of the 9 strains that are like really harmful. And like the way that him and the doctor were just like brushing it off, making it sound like it was nothing, or not a big deal because so many other people have it. I was like, that doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it okay. And especially when this guy was not he had no intention of telling me about it. Thank you for the hot one. I'm not sorry that I had to go through that, because it made the judge's decision a lot easier. The fact that it was like recorded and there was history of a kit done in Calgary, it made the judge's decision, regarding the guardianship of Lucifer. It made that decision easier. The fact that I was able to give very specific information about that case while I was on the stand, it certainly made it easier for them to make that decision, because that's a tough decision for a judge to make. Do I grant custody over the youngest, or do I revoke custody off of the second born? Revoking guardianship is a lot more difficult to do than to grant guardianship. But here in Alberta, when somebody gets pregnant because of a sexual assault, the person who did the assaulting is not an eligible guardian. So he couldn't be an eligible guardian for one and not the other. So the fact that I was able to give very specific information about that case on the stand, it was undeniable to the judge that I was telling the truth and that my ex was lying. And then asking him very uncomfortable questions on the stand. Like I had to ask him, they were uncomfortable questions for me to ask. They were even more uncomfortable for him to answer. And then seeing how shaken up and defensive that he became on the stand, that was also a telltale sign to the judge that he wasn't being 100% honest about the things that he had said. Thanks for the heartbeat. So, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, not one bit. Because my life could have been so much worse. Our life could have been so much worse. And that was a price that I paid. It was absolutely tragic, and it changed the way I viewed men by a great deal. But I think it's for the better. I really do think that it's for the better. I think that we're just better off without having men in our life. Like how much stress has been alleviated just by not associating with men. Like the trauma is gone. There's not a single doggone soul on this planet that can compromise that. So I have my integrity. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Already not. Let's bring it upstairs. Black.